yamunatiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamunatiravanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radhe Shyam Lalita Vishaka Jaya Radhe Shyam Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Jaya Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Acharya Stotara Sata His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON BBT Founder Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem se kaho Shri Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Ganga Mai Ki Yamuna Mai Ki Mayapur Dham Ki Vrindavan Dham Ki Tulsi Maharani Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Okay, so today we are reading from Bhagavad-Gita as it is, chapter 2, entitled Contents of Gita Summarized, and text is number 46. Yāvān artha uda-pāne sarvataḥ samplutodake tāvān sarveṣu vedeṣu brāhmaṇasya vijānataḥ yāvān artha uda-pāne sarvataḥ samplutodake tāvān sarveṣu vedeṣu brāhmaṇasya vijānataḥ yāvān artha uda-pāne sarvataḥ samplutodake tāvān sarveṣu vedeṣu brāhmaṇasya vijānataḥ
yāvān artha uda-pāne sarvataḥ samplutodake tāvān sarveṣu vedeṣu brāhmaṇasya vijānataḥ yāvān artha uda-pāne sarvataḥ samplutodake yāvān sarveṣu vedeṣu uda-pāne sarvataḥ samplutodake tāvān sarveṣu vedeṣu brāhmaṇasya vijānataḥ yāvān artha uda-pāne sarvataḥ samplutodake tāvān sarveṣu vedeṣu brāhmaṇasya vijānataḥ yāvān artha uda-pāne sarvataḥ samplutodake brāhmaṇasya vijānataḥ yāvān all that arthaḥ is meant uda-pāne in a well of water
sarvataḥ, in all respects, sampluta-udake, in a great reservoir of water, tāvān, similarly, sarveṣu, in all, vedeṣu, Vedic literatures, brāhmaṇasya, of the man who knows the Supreme Brahman, vijānataḥ, who is in complete knowledge. Okay. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki. All purposes served by a small well, please repeat. Served by small well, can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The rituals and sacrifices mentioned in the karma-kāṇḍa division of the Vedic literature are meant to encourage gradual development of self-realization. And the purpose of self-realization is clearly stated in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad-Gītā, 15:15. The purpose of studying the Vedas is to know Kṛṣṇa, the primeval cause of everything. So self-realization means understanding Kṛṣṇa and one's eternal relationship with Him. The relationship of living entities with Kṛṣṇa is also mentioned in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad-Gītā, 15:7. The living entities are parts and parcels of Kṛṣṇa. Therefore, revival of Kṛṣṇa consciousness by the individual living entity is the highest perfectional stage of Vedic knowledge. It is confirmed in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 3:33-7 as follows. Aho bata svapachot togra gariyan yajjihvarge vartate nama tubhyam te pustapaste juhuvusa surarya brahmanuchurnama grinanti yete. O my Lord, a person who is chanting your holy name, although born of a low family like that of Chandala, the dog-eater, is situated on the highest platform of self-realization. Such a person must have performed all kinds of penances and sacrifices according to Vedic rituals and studied the Vedic literatures many times after taking his bath in all the holy places of pilgrimages. Such a person is considered to be the best of the Aryan family. So one must be intelligent enough to understand the purpose of the Vedas without being attached to the rituals only, and must not desire to be elevated to the heavenly kingdoms for a better quality of sense gratification. It is not possible for the common man in this age to follow all the rules and regulations of Vedic rituals, nor is it possible to study all of the Vedanta and the Upanishad thoroughly. It requires much time, energy, knowledge, and resources to execute the purposes of the Vedas. It is hardly possible in this age. The best purpose of the Vedic culture is served, however, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, as recommended by Lord Chaitanya, the deliverer of all fallen souls. When Lord Chaitanya was asked by a great Vedic scholar, Prakāṣānanda Sarasvati. Why? He, the Lord, was chanting the holy name of the Lord like a sentimentalist instead of studying Vedanta philosophy. The Lord replied that his spiritual master had found him to be a great fool and thus asked him to chant the holy name of Lord Kṛṣṇa. He did so and became ecstatic like a madman. In this age of Kali, most of the population is foolish and not adequately educated to understand Vedanta philosophy. The best purpose of Vedanta philosophy is served by inoffensively chanting the holy name of the Lord. Vedanta is the last philosophy. Vedanta is the last word in Vedic wisdom, and the author and knower of Vedanta philosophy is Lord Kṛṣṇa. And the highest Vedantist is the great soul who takes pleasure in the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. That is the ultimate purpose of Vedic mysticism. We read the verse again. All purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. Om Ajnānatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Staptitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta-pada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dīnabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming for Bhagavad-Gita discussion. And yes, Bhagavad-Gita, contents of the Gita summarized, chapter 2, text 46. All purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. So, in the context, this verse is how to do with this mic. Sorry, not very nice arrangement. Okay, so no problem, I'm fine. Yes, so we go back. 241. Yavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kurunandana
bahushākāh yanantascha buddhayo vyavasāyanam. So, Krishna is here speaking. First, he also says before 240 that in this endeavor there is no loss and diminution for surrendering to Krishna and serving to Krishna. There is no loss. And then he says, one who are fixed in that activity, in that purpose, one who are resolute in purpose, vyavasayatmika buddhir, their aim is one, and their intelligence are irresolute. And those who are not, they are many branched. Yes. So then he says that generally people are in the three modes of nature. So they are influenced by different modes of nature. Different means three modes in different combinations, and thus they are attracted to different facilities, and they are taken away by different needs. And the Vedas offer them to fulfill all these needs and gain all these facilities. That's what's called the flowery language of Vedas. So in that way, their mind is divided, this and that, this is what they all need. And the focus is spread out. So then afterwards, Krishna confirms that yes, that those who are attached to the sense enjoyment which comes from these three modes of nature, because the modes are the ones that induce the jiva for sense gratification. So they are bewildered by such things, and for them, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. So those who are attracted to these worldly things, which Vedas also offer in a very nice and pious way, you can attain it. So for them, such vyavasayatmika buddhi is not taking place. Their intelligence are scattered to different many directions. So, but then what it means in the next verse, Krishna says, it means actually that Vedas all this is just three modes of nature, which means there is a preliminary desire, then there is action, then there is a result, which is a cause of a next desire, action, and a result. So in that way, that entanglement never ends. So, and Krishna suggests to Arjuna, he says, but you raise above all these things. You be free from all dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self. He says to Arjuna, you don't worry about all these things, what material world can give you through Vedas, attained in a nice, pious way, and you may get a lot of desirable things. So these are all in the modes of material nature, and is actually not going to do any good for you. So you be established in the self. So then next verse comes, which is our today's verse, which is Krishna is giving like analogy. He again says the same thing to emphasize, and he's giving analogy with the water and a reservoir of water. He says what you can attain by different small wells, like for example, now we don't have wells, we have sinks and taps. Yeah, so we can say it in that way. Let's say we go in a house, there is one sink, or even in this temple, there is a sink where you only use for deities, the Sakriyan Suchi sink. Yeah, you wash only Shyam Sundar's plate or Radharani's plate, you wash in that sink. Then there is another sink which is hand wash. Yes. Then there is a foot wash. Then there is another tap for drinking. Now we have cool water there, and just next to it is hand wash. And then there is another tap which is toilet tap. Right? Nobody will drink from that. Nobody will go and wash Radharani's plate in that. So there are many different taps and many different purposes. But if you go to Yamuna, everything is done in one big reservoir of water. So Krishna here again, he gives this analogy, because analogy should very illustrate the matter very nicely, and we can understand it very clearly by comparisons, by analogies. And Bhagavad-Gita is full of comparisons, analogies. Either it is in a verses like this one, or in the 15th chapter about the banyan tree, how it illustrates the material. So it's immediately the image is there, and it's clear before our eyes. So how is this that these Vedas can fulfill so many purposes, but we have to be fixed on one? So it is the same thing. Instead of running around and searching different taps, if you have one big reservoir of water, all the purpose is already fulfilled. There is no necessity to engage mind of thinking different small things. So Krishna gives this verse. So what is the purpose behind the Vedas? Yes, but what is the purpose behind the Vedas? So Srila Prabhupada says that the purpose behind the Vedas, it's described in chapter 15, in chapter 15, text 15. Yes, so if we go to 15:15, because here Prabhupada is guiding us, so we should not be very lazy, but we should actually open the chapter 15:15 and check what is his purpose behind them. If we know the purpose behind them, then we don't have to go to all these small wells. We can just stick to one purpose, yes? So it's a very famous verse, chapter 15, text 15. It is a very famous verse. And sarvasya chaham hridishana vishto matasmriti jnanam apohanam cha vedaischa sarvairahameva vedyo vedanta krit vedavit eva chaham. Yes, so purpose by all the Vedas, I am to be known. Simple, very simple sentence. Because purpose means what? Vedas is a book of knowledge. So if you study book of knowledge, that the subject matter to be known is the purpose why you're studying. So the purpose of the Vedas is, he said, aham. Yeah? Aham. Vedaischa sarvairam aham. Eva vedya. By all the Vedas, aham. Aham means Krishna. Eva, certainly Vedya, knowable. By all the Vedas, the purpose of Vedas is to know Krishna. Yes, so this is a big reservoir of water. Once you know Krishna, then all other purposes are solved. So like that. The another meaning of this verse is explained that when you are actually in that big reservoir, near the big reservoir of water, and you need to do something there, it's not that you have to take all the water. No, you arrive to Kusum Sarovara and you need to take a few drops to put on your head. You no need to take all the water of Kusum Sarovara. Huh? You only need to take a few drops. So the same thing, if you study Vedas, then you study these things which are relevant to achieve Krishna, to achieve his devotional service. Then you take those points. You don't need to focus on other things. Because you see, the Vedas is Krishna's mercy. And Krishna is merciful to all the jivas. But not all the jivas are so much interested to actually attain Krishna. But Krishna is not envious. Sometimes in conditioned soul we say, you're not so much interested in me, then I'm also not interested in you. Why do I need to you? Even though Krishna says, I cast these type of people down in the darkest regions of hell. But this he specifically talks about like really lost cases. But generally people like this who are just want to enjoy a little bit, then Krishna also gives them through Vedas, guides them, and then they get little bit elevated, little bit, more and more and more, till naturally at one point they will realize something more. And if they follow everything in a pious way, then they will accumulate some pious credit also, which will bring them to the sattva guna, to the mode of goodness, which will give them some kind of intelligence. And maybe even an association with sadhu. Yes? So that's why Vedas are, although the purpose of the Vedas is to know Krishna, still there are aspects of Vedas which facilitates those jivas who don't want to know Krishna. In that way, slowly, roundabout way, they will also, one point, will start to know Krishna. But those who actually want to know Krishna, they don't need to worry about these other subject matters who are meant for the sense enjoyers. So like that. So this is the meaning, another meaning of that big reservoir of water. But Srila Prabhupada, he doesn't waste time of discussing this meaning, that meaning, or whichever meaning. Srila Prabhupada goes directly to the point. So what does he say in this purport? What is the purpose of the Vedas? Anyone remembers from the purport? What? Gradual development means it's for those who doesn't want to know Krishna. So then they gradually will go. But that's not the purpose of the Vedas. Yeah, but what Prabhupada exactly says? To know that what we discussed here.
To know Lord Kṛṣṇa, the primeval cause of everything.
Yes, but more. What does he say more about that? The best purpose of Vedic culture is served, however, by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Otherwise, how do you know about the Lord? So the chanting of the holy name is a process of knowing of the Lord. Yeah? So that's why that chanting of the holy name is actually the purpose of the Lord, of the Vedas. So it is the means, and it is the perfection as well. Because the chanting of the holy name of the Lord will give us an opportunity to know Krishna. But the name is already Krishna. The name is already Krishna. So by chanting the holy name of the Lord, we are already with Krishna. Yes? So that's why this is the topmost activity of what Vedas offer. And that's why anything, even in other parts of Vedas, which is not meant really, or directly connected with devotional service, there are always names of Krishna are there. Because karma-kāṇḍa or jnana-kāṇḍa, they all can function only if there is a mixture of bhakti in there. They cannot grant any benedictions or give a person a chance to attain any result without bhakti. So this bhakti aspect is there, is this holy name. Even though it appears maybe the name of a demigod, but actually each of those names are names of Krishna. Because really what grants a benediction? Who grants a benediction? It is Krishna who grants benediction. So in order to approach Krishna, some bhakti has to be there. That's why it's also explained how is this many-branched. The intelligence of those who are not bhakti yogis are many-branched. It's because like karmis we can see, those who are interested in karma-kāṇḍa, they are many-branched first of all because they are just desire every single thing available in the world. Yeah, so naturally the many-branched. But the jnana-kāṇḍa, how is that is a many-branched? Because we also want to only desire liberation. But because they need to perform some kind of activity which is kind of a nishkam activity, and still some bhakti is involved. So still there is not there cannot be only single-pointed jnana focus. Some bhakti has to be there, so it's not vyavasayatmika. Only bhakti is vyavasayatmika, which means fully focused on one person who is Krishna. Yes, so the holy name is pervading through all the Vedas. And the holy name, even though Prabhupada writes here that he says in Kali Yuga, everybody is a fool, they don't know they are unqualified and incapable of doing anything else, so let them at least chant the holy name. But it's not because that the holy name is such a low-class activity that it's only meant for Kali Yuga people. Actually, because the holy name, chanting of the holy name is a topmost activity and the most purifying, the most powerful and the most potent, that even the fools of Kali Yuga take to it, it can work. Because actually we know that a holy name is fully independent. It doesn't depend on time. It doesn't depend on circumstances. So it means it is above the time and circumstances. So if we say that the holy name is meant only for Kali Yuga, then we limit it to time and circumstances. But holy name is as effective as in Kali Yuga, the same way it is effective in different yugas as well. But in Kali Yuga specifically, it's stressed because of its extreme compassion and potency to deliver the people, and not only people. So, like that. That's Srila Prabhupada. The half of the purport, he talks about the holy name. So first he is establishing to know the way, who to know. By studying Vedas, what do we learn? What do we know? Yeah, it's Kṛṣṇa. It's Kṛṣṇa. So then what does it mean I know Kṛṣṇa? Because I am person, Kṛṣṇa is person, so I know Kṛṣṇa in relationship with me, and me in relationship with Kṛṣṇa. This is full knowledge of knowing Kṛṣṇa. Otherwise, how do we know Kṛṣṇa? Okay, his personality of Godhead, we knew, we found it out, yes, okay. But what does it mean? Then how my life changes? By knowing that Kṛṣṇa is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what does it do to me? How am I related to that? So then comes the verse 15.7. Srila Prabhupada writes next verse. Here he sends us to 15.7. So we again open 15.7. Because Srila Prabhupada, 15.15 we already found out, yes? 15.15 says that by all the Vedas is Kṛṣṇa to be known. So then he says that the relationship with living entity and Kṛṣṇa is mentioned in 15.7. So here we will understand what am I to do with that information that Kṛṣṇa is to be known by Vedas. What is connection there with me? Because I am a person, so there must be I have to be somehow related, otherwise why do I need to at all be interested and take it all up? So, 15.7, again very famous verse. Mama evamsho jiva bhuta, jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha, manasastan prakriti stan karshati. The living entity in this conditioned world, the living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. So here Kṛṣṇa says that who are these living entities, which is me, you, all of you, and everybody are who to Kṛṣṇa? Part and parcel. What kind of part and parcel? Small, fragmental. What else? What other kind of part and parcel was written here? Eternal. Yes. Very small and eternal. So it was never been the time that we are disconnected with Kṛṣṇa, because we are always part of Kṛṣṇa. We are actually very much connected with Kṛṣṇa. Yes? So that's what it means, eternal. And then fragmental, very small. That means we are less than Kṛṣṇa. We are smaller than Kṛṣṇa. We are subordinate than Kṛṣṇa. We are dependent on Kṛṣṇa. So what do we do then, if we found such a great personality? Serve. Yes, exactly. We have to serve. But now we don't know about it because we are struggling so much with our mind especially. Then we don't know. So then what do? We chant the holy name. Yeah, because what is the meaning of the holy name? Of Mahamantra? What Srila Prabhupada says the meaning of Mahamantra? Yes, so now you can see the flow of this purport. So, the purpose behind Vedas is what? To know Kṛṣṇa. Yes, Kṛṣṇa is by all the Vedas, I am to be known. Then, what am I to do with it that Kṛṣṇa is to be known? No, what is my connection with all this? Yeah, because I am a part of Kṛṣṇa. This is how I'm connected eternally, and then also small. So I'm asking for service, and that means chanting of the holy name. Yes. So this is the flow of this purport. And one who chants the holy name is said that he's the highest Vedantist, the one who takes pleasure to chant the holy name of the Lord. So who takes pleasure chanting holy name of the Lord? Or not so much? You take pleasure. Okay, the highest Vedantist one is here sitting already. Okay, good. Yes, so not many people raise hand when we ask the pleasure. Because Srila Prabhupada writes here one very, very important, significant word. To chant the holy name offenselessly. Yes. Because if we offend the holy name, then the pleasure doesn't come. But when we don't offend, then the pleasure will come. And once we chant with pleasure, then we become a highest Vedantist. So Srila Prabhupada writes here, inoffensively. Yes. The best purpose of Vedanta philosophy is served by inoffensively chanting the holy name of the Lord. So without offenses. Yes. So that without offenses, mostly we always relate it to Vaishnava Parada. But it's not only Vaishnava Parada, it's also lack of faith. It is some material attachments which not allow us to relish the holy name.
The 10 offenses.
Yeah, the 10 offenses. And these 10 offenses actually make us many branched our intelligence. Huh?
Make us what?
Our intelligence not fixed. Is like we were mentioning that word of yavasa yatmika buddhir, which is fixed. And when it's not fixed on a Krishna's lotus feet, it becomes many branched. It's spread out. So these offenses come from that. Because what does it mean an offense? We don't have faith. We think that all these glories of holy name, it's over-exaggerated. How can the one who chants the holy name be greatest Vedantist? Come on, you know. It cannot be. Vedantists spend the whole life to study. They know all the Sanskrit letters. They know how to pronounce everything properly. And then one person comes from China, America, or wherever, start chanting holy name, and he is greater than a Vedantist? How can that be true? Prabhupada maybe writes, okay, just to encourage us. So someone may think like this deep in the heart. So this is Nama Parada.
To consider the glories of...
Yeah, it's over-exaggeration. Yeah, like this verse in Bhagavatam 3.33.7. Oh my Lord, a person who is chanting your holy name, although born of a low family like that of a Chandala, dog-eater, is situated on the highest platform of self-realization. This is maybe just some benediction, you know, like Bhagavatam offered these benedictions. Oh, one who reads a chapter will get 5, 10, 15 sons, or will get liberation. So also like just chant, you know, think that it's the highest platform of self-realization, and later you will become qualified and then you can do... Someone may think like this about this verse, yeah? Look, such a person must have performed all kinds of penances and sacrifices according to Vedic rituals, studied the Vedic literature many, many times after taking his bath in all the holy places of pilgrimage. Such a person is considered the best of the Aryan family. Yeah? He doesn't even know how to wash his hands. Best of Aryan family. So, how can this be true? Who believes this? Still, that there's a Vedantist. I'm telling the highest Vedantist, the best of Aryan family.
Those who have faith.
Hmm?
Those who have faith.
Yes, but not to have faith, it is offense of the holy name. So it means we cannot chant inoffensively, which means that we're not fulfilling the purpose of Vedanta. And sometimes it can happen because our brain is too scholarly. Or we are scholarly, too much thinking. Or Janma Aishwarya Shruta Shri, we are too attached to the high parentage, high education, which is this scholarly, or something from us, and we think, how can it be? So then we cannot approach the Lord with the sincere feelings. Because bhakti has to be simple-hearted. It is written here, and you accept it.
To maintain material attachments.
Yeah, this is also the Janmashvara. Yeah. Or why not having faith? Because I don't have, something is written here, I don't have faith, means because I have my own opinion. I have better feeling that something is there behind, something is more there. So why such crooked-mindedness? So these all things are material. They are based on our intelligence, mind, which is matter. But here, in Bhagavad-Gita, in introduction itself, Srila Prabhupada is telling us how to see, how to read Bhagavad-Gita, how to accept Bhagavad-Gita. And he says here that one should accept Bhagavad-Gita as Arjuna accepted. So how does Arjuna accept it? What was exactly that specific thing of Arjuna? How he accepted Bhagavad-Gita?
By accepting Krishna as a spiritual master.
By accepting Krishna as a Supreme Personality of Godhead, which means that he accepts Krishna's authority. And that means that whatever Krishna says, he accepts as truth.
And he's ready to do his duty.
And he is ready to do what Krishna, because his duty. But what is his duty? What Krishna says, that is his duty. If Krishna says him to fight, it's his duty to fight. And if Krishna says him don't fight, his duty is not fight. Even the fighting is not, he is not fighting because he is a kshatriya and he wants to fight. Because Krishna says him to fight, he fights. So this is how Bhagavad-Gita has to be accepted. What is written, that you accept. Yeah? Karyeshe vachanam tava. I shall act according to your word. So what is said, we accept. Who wants to have such a blind faith? Just because said it, we accept? We don't have any individuality, we don't have any personality, or what? Are we some kind of rod of the microphone that we just accept blindly? Whatever is said, we accept. We have no individuality, we lose our individuality. Is this some kind of Mayavad philosophy? That only Krishna's opinion?
You can experiment with it.
Try, you mean to say. So yes, if you don't have faith, we can at least try. So that's why Srila Prabhupada also says in his introduction, that if you don't know, if you don't believe, just to be successful in reading this Bhagavad-Gita, at least theoretically you accept that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. At least theoretically. So this is this trying. Yeah? At least theoretically you accept. Because otherwise, what's the point of reading this Bhagavad-Gita if you don't accept Krishna as a Supreme Personality of Godhead? Then anybody can write any kind of book and we will read it. So at least theoretically you accept. Yes. So the same, because Srila Prabhupada is our Acharya, at least theoretically we accept what he says. Bhagavatam, at least theoretically we accept what is written here. Yes. So in that way, our heart is pure, our heart is simple, and at least we rid ourselves at least of one offense to have full faith. Yeah. So like that. So I have taken some book here. We're talking about the holy name, and I want to read a little bit about the holy name. It is so inspiring, and that we know at least what it means, this holy name. Yeah. So first comes faith, as we said, to have faith. And by faith, we want to have association of other faithful people. Sadhu Sangha. Yes. And by this Sadhu Sangha, what do? We understand, I am pure spirit soul, Lord Kṛṣṇa's servant. Yeah, so this we understand by Sadhu Sangha. And that way, we raise beyond the realm of Maya. And we engage, like Prabhuji said, in bhajana kriya, in service. We engage in some kind of sadhana. We engage in some kind of service. We engage in some kind of practice. So, and that brings us above the jnanis, karmis, and different type of materialists. Yes? and the devotee starts to chant the holy name, because that's what they hear from the mouth of sadhu. So this holy name, it is so powerful that Mahaprabhu says that even the person who chants one time the holy name is considered the Vaishnava. And the person who meets such a person who chanted the holy name has to offer respect. So it means that this Vaishnava culture is so beautiful that there is nothing lower than respect. Even the person who chanted once the holy name, we give respect. What to speak of others? So everything starts from respect. So this is the power of the holy name. So this category once, it actually means the one who chants the holy name occasionally. Yeah, I don't know if we will manage to read everything, but there is a person who chants occasionally, then there's a person who chants continuously, and then the person who is by his chanting inspire others to chant. So I am chanting 16 rounds, so means I'm chanting occasionally, because I'm not chanting always. Yeah? So, like that. Anyone from whose mouth one always hears the holy name is more exalted Vaishnava, and he is abode of all good qualities. Simply by seeing him one feels devotion to Krishna and finds Lord Krishna's holy name in one's mouth. That is the most exalted Vaishnava. So there are three types. One who does occasional chanting, one who does always, we said, from whose mouth always the holy name emanates. Yes? Shabda Brahman. And then one by whom, just by seeing him, one feels devotion to Krishna. And just by seeing that person, my mouth already starts also chanting. Yeah? So this is the topmost Vaishnava. How will the conditioned souls take up the chanting of the holy name of Lord Kṛṣṇa? So this is actually Haridas Thakur here speaking. Haridas Thakur says the Lord Kṛṣṇa's holy name is spiritual. It has no beginning. It is a Chintamani jewel. Lord Kṛṣṇa is his holy name, and they are one. Yeah? So why this holy name is so powerful? Why this Kali Yuga is the fallen Kali Yuga, the Iron Age, nothing works, everything is just getting down, degraded. Why the holy name is recommended? As I mentioned in the beginning, not because it is the same degraded as a Kali Yuga. No, because it is the most potent, most powerful principle, because it is actually Krishna himself. Kali Kala Nama Rupa Krishna Avatar. Yeah?
And you can manifest it anywhere and everywhere.
Yes. So that's what I also said. It doesn't depend on time and circumstances. That's why it is not that holy name is to be chanted only in Kali Yuga. It is eternal practice, eternal method. And it is sadhana and it is sandhya. It is practice, sadhya. It's practice and it is perfection. So even if you are in Satya Yuga perfected Muni, you chant the holy name, because that's what you will want to do when you are perfected. You just want to chant the holy name. The holy name is a form of transcendental mellows. It is always liberated. It is eternal and pure. It is non-different from Krishna himself. Its form is eternal, and its nature, nectar, for the rasikas who relish the nectar. The holy name descends into this dull and lifeless material world. And Krishna is known through the name. He is known through his qualities, his form and actions. And these four, name, form, qualities and actions, have no beginning. They are eternal. Lord Kṛṣṇa exists eternally. He is nectar personified. He is free from material dualities. And these four features, name, form, qualities, and actions, are all perfect. These four features are manifest, and they are always eternal, perfect, and always spiritual. Lord Kṛṣṇa attracts everyone, and the holy name attracts everyone. It's very nice now. Anyone who remembers Lord Krishna's name meets Lord Krishna's form. Think about it. Anybody who remembers, because by chanting you remember, anyone who chants the holy name meets Krishna's form.
The holy name is more merciful than the form.
Yeah, he gives form. He gives form. Lord Krishna's name and form are not different. They are Lord Krishna himself dancing in different dancing places. Which are those different dancing places? Each chanter's tongue. Lord Krishna possesses 64 qualities. So the name also possesses 64 qualities. Present everywhere in the waves of these qualities are Lord Krishna's pastimes. Okay, now a little technical information. There are only two spiritual things in this world. It is soul and the holy name. Soul. The soul and the holy name. The only two spiritual things. Everything else is made of matter. So the two, holy name and the soul, they are very intimately connected together because they are the only ones who are spiritual. For example, when you go to some different place, let's say you are from South India, yeah? So you have come to Vrindavan, and when you meet another South Indian, you feel, yes, we met, and you can speak in, I don't know, Tamil, Telugu, whichever language you have there. So you feel so happy. So the soul is spiritual, and the holy name is spiritual, and the soul has come here to material world, and everything is foreign. And then finally they meet someone else from that same place, spiritual, the same nature. So then they meet, they become very happy. It's nothing artificial, nothing wrong with it. It is described when Lord Chaitanya was going to the tour to South India. He had this servant Govinda with him. Govinda. And that maybe this Kalkrishna was for some time, but not for always.
No, he was on the South India trip, he was at home.
Yeah, Govinda was also there. So Govinda, because he writes, there is a Govinda's diary about South Indian travels of Mahaprabhu. And there Mahaprabhu travels, and then on his journey, he meets two Bengalis who also go on South Indian tour. And he's described how Mahaprabhu was happy to meet the Bengalis. He said, how they like their way of doing things, and Mahaprabhu likes the way they talk and behave and their little cultural thing. So Mahaprabhu wanted to continue his tour with these two Bengalis. So like that. So the same way, when we meet someone similar to us, we immediately want to congregate with that person. So the soul is spiritual and the holy name is spiritual. So it's very natural for the soul to want to congregate to the holy name, with the holy name. Yeah? So this is very nice. Yes. Any points, questions, comments? Hare Krishna.
So I have a question, theoretically speaking. If somebody, wants to get married, right?
Wants to get married.
Yes. And they want to raise from the mode of, these three gunas and serve Krishna. How do they apply this in marriage? I'm just throwing an idea. Serving Krishna together with your partner, whether it's having a temple, doing kirtan, leading kirtan, What is this the way to transcend that material modes?
Yeah, okay, so the question is, how do you transcend the modes in a marriage? Yes, it is very simple, because the devotional service is transcendental, the same like we discussed about the holy name. So it actually doesn't depend much on any material circumstances, which also means that it doesn't depend on any varna. So in anybody, in any circumstances, what to speak of varna or ashrama, somebody who doesn't even have any varna and ashrama, like it was mentioned in a verse, Chandala, can chant the holy name. So of course the chanting of the holy name. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, being an exemplary grihastha, he has prescribed a very nice way how grihasthas can mold their life. And the first of all, it is said that a person, like I was just reading today, it's a very nice description. There are, how do we cultivate devotion to Krishna? And there are 5 aspects. One is with body, with the mind, with the body, with the mind, with the matter, with society, the body, mind, soul, matter, and society. So these all 5 things we engaged in the service to Krishna. So these 5 things can be engaged in the service to Krishna by anyone, in any varna, in any ashram, in any situation of life. So, and one of those things, how to engage the matter in cultivation of devotion service, it means, what means matter? Matter means a space, time, and objects. This is what means matter. So how do you engage space in cultivation of Krishna's service? So you engage space by living in the Krishna's pastime place, or you live in a place where Krishna resides. So where is such a place where Krishna resides? Okay, it's Vrindavan, but every temple in the world is also Krishna lives there. So then you can ask, how then grihastha can live in a temple? Because it's only brahmacharis and sannyasis live in temple. But why don't you make your house a temple? Yes? So it is actually, I would say it's a compulsory for a grihastha to have a deity in a house, to actually become a pure devotee, because then you install your deity in a house, and this is a deity's house. It is Krishna's house. And this, what does it mean, Krishna's house? It means temple. So then your work, your job that you go outside and you work, is not a job anymore. It is service, because you bring the money to pay tax for the temple. Yeah? Like Jayananda, he was a taxi driver, but what did he do with his salary? He gave everything to Srila Prabhupada to pay the temple fees, rents, bills, everything. So the same you can do. You work and you pay a tax for a temple. And you treat that house not as your house where you engage in a sense gratification or just relaxed and do nothing, but you actually treat that house like a temple. Yeah? They offer a service to the Lord, the guests are coming, the kirtan is going on, the prasadam is being cooked, it is being served, the festivals are being observed. So there's a whole engagement, and the whole family members, the wife, the children, they all are become like brahmachari in ashram. Yeah? They all are engaged in making garlands, in cooking, in cleaning. So there's a whole consciousness. And then you can go to the deity and you can thank them that they allow you also to stay in their house. Yeah? Because it's their house, and you can say, I'm so grateful that I can also stay in this house. So it is just your mercy that you allowed me here. Yeah? So this is how grihastha can live as Paramahamsa.
there are, by the way, some communities, at least in the U.S., that they do have grahastas living at the temples too, such as New Tāvān.
Yeah, in the farm communities,
Yes.
there is. Yeah, that's another option to live in a farm community. But it can be also you make your own temple. Yeah, like many householders, they want to build a house, so you build a temple. Yeah. Anyone else? Anything else? Next question.
Yeah. So you mentioned the other kinds of karma-kāṇḍa and vijānataḥ, and people that are practicing these different styles, and also people that are worshiping different demigods and chanting their names. Now, if there's some times where I've read in the Shastra where if there's bhakti in that, then it's okay, then it's supported. But I want to know if somebody is chanting to, let's say, Shiva, Brahma, or Kali, or whatever, can one chant these names with Krishna in their consciousness and it be bhakti? How does this work? Is this offensive? How does that? I want to know, because sometimes I can read this and I just need a little bit of clarification.
Yeah, so all the names of demigods, they can be interpreted as Krishna's names. But it's not just that what makes it bhakti, because really bhakti is in the heart. So it means how do you see them? That's what determines whether it's bhakti or not. So if you see them, the demigods as separate personalities from Krishna, with their individual powers, or equal to Krishna, then that cannot be bhakti. It is offensive to see like that. But if you see them as a servant of Krishna, then you are just approaching another type of Vaishnava. But at the same time, if you really want to be pure bhakta, then why do you need to approach them? You can approach Krishna. Yes. And really, in the pure state of most elevated state, we don't even approach Krishna for any material things. But it is said that if you do want to approach someone with a material desire, then you better approach Krishna. Yeah? It is called the sakama karma yoga, which is attempt to approach Krishna with some material desire, which is a kind of a certain level, a state of practice which is described in scriptures. So, yeah, so we approach Krishna in any kind of, with any kind of, and Prabhupada writes in that purport that whatever our state of consciousness is, we should just engage in the tivrena bhakti yogena, which means intense devotional service. So whether we are full of material desires, or we desire liberation, or we have no desires, we have to engage in in intense devotional service and have faith that everything is going to be fulfilled. So that's what this verse means. It's not really correct to say that that it is the same as approaching Krishna with the desires. It means that we serve Krishna. Yeah? And we don't have worry to protect what we have or attain what we lack, because we know that when we serve Krishna, Krishna will provide what we lack and he will protect what we have. But there are also devotees who do approach Krishna specifically to fulfill some material desires. So there are so many varieties and so many stages, and everybody can act only according to their realization. Nobody can act beyond their realization. And that's why these Vedas are so vast, because they can facilitate everybody, and everybody can grow from that position. And sometimes, of course, a merciful sadhu comes to drag one out from their position and put them higher, in a higher position for their own benefit. Yes? So this is a special mercy of sadhu. So, yes, and regarding the demigods, what you were mentioning is that we can always see them also in a different ways and in a different, according to our in different ways of according to our realization. Again, back to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he was traveling, and there was, for example, deity of temple of Durga, and then he entered and he developed ecstatic symptoms because he remembered how gopis worshipped Durga to attain Krishna as their husband. So that pastime increased his bhava, even though he entered the temple of Durga. So, but this is, of course, it is very elevated state. It is a person who is carrying Krishna in his heart, and wherever he goes, it becomes Vrindavan. So first of all, we have to to protect ourselves from unnecessary trouble. We have to just be safe at the lotus feet of Krishna, but at the same time we should not disrespect any living entity, even an ant or Lord Brahma, and we follow our the process the way Srila Prabhupada has very easily and nicely wrapped it and presented it to us. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.